UT Martin, and then we'll open it up for questions.
UT Martin is, man, they've been one of the better teams in the Ohio Valley Conference for a while. Kevin McMillan is a terrific head coach. We've known him since he was a high school coach back in Tennessee. Does a terrific job with his team. They always play a hard schedule, so they won't come in here, being intimidated by playing a Power 5. They come off playing Louisville at home before Christmas, a game they lost in double overtime, a game that I think they probably feel like, after I watched it on film, that they really could have won, maybe even should have won, with some critical missed free throws there in the overtime period. So they present some challenges for us for sure, and I'm sure they come over here expecting to win the game.
Can you tell us a little bit about, you guys have dealt with teams with a little more size, and they have some. What can you tell us about, how you plan to deal with some of that?
Yeah, they can present some real length. They don't have the big physical post players, but they're 6'1", 6'2", very long, very athletic. They like to play three of those kids together, which means one of our smaller guards will be matched up, on one of their kind of 6'1", 6'2" kids. I will tell you that Michaela Daniels has done a terrific job of guarding kids like that. If you go back to the Kansas State game, she shut their leading scorer down to 0 made field goals, Christiana Carr. Again, a kid built very similar to these kids. Rokia, when Rokia comes off the bench, she provides us with that similar size. So Roe will probably have a big matchup there when she comes in guarding somebody with a like size. And then, there's some coverages in that we've done throughout the season with Wisconsin and, Belmont and the aforementioned Kansas State that we can use to help neutralize what I'm sure he feels like is going to be an advantage for them, which is probably to try to score it from the low post to some degree. So certainly a challenge for us, but one that our schedule has allowed us to already prepare us for. And obviously we're going to get ready to play 16 conference games where we're going to be the smaller team and, maybe all 16 of them, I don't know. So, certainly something we're prepared for.
How's Kiara Williams progressing? I mean, obviously played a few minutes the last couple of games. You feel like she's going to continue to see more and more minutes? You feel good there?
Yeah, she's getting a lot of reps in practice. She's on multiple teams, trying to give her a little bit of a crash course on her conditioning and, just getting her back into the flow of basketball. But I think as the season goes along, you will see her get back to her old form. I don't think she's that far away. Kind of giving us a three-headed monster, a little bit inside now, and, the ability to, really play those kids in short increments and were matchups and keeping people fresh. And I think you really saw that against Little Rock is that, we used her, Taylor, and Aaron, and just kept rotating them in. And, boy, they were just able to play with such high energy. They were able to run, defend. You look at their collective stats in that game. If you look at them as one entity, which is how we kind of look at their minutes when they split minutes like that, is, they're really, really productive. And her and Taylor have been kind of doing that for 2 years, and now adding Erin to the mix with the amount of experience that she's gotten in the first, 12 games of the season. Look forward to having Kiara back into that role as she continues to, to get back into kind of playing shape for sure.
What's an advantage you see going in against UT Martin? I mean, we talked about Martin's length and size. Mm-hmm. What's an advantage you feel like you guys can take advantage of?
Well, I think because of their length and their size, they're going to have to use somebody to guard, one of our guards, whether that's Tolfree or Ramirez or however they decide to do that. But they are a team that gives you multiple defensive looks. They're going to play some 1-3-1. They'll play some 2-3 trapping zone. They'll press some. They'll play some man. Usually, knock on wood, against teams like this, us playing four guards, we usually do really well against teams like this. Coach has got the old phrase, we just try to make the defense wrong. We cannot dictate what they do. We can't tell them how to play. We can't tell them what defense to play. So in practice, we try to make sure that we prepare our team. And again, because of our skill set in playing the four guards, with Chelsea, kind of at the quote-unquote forward spot, really lends itself to us having advantages over teams that give you multiple defensive looks or play a bigger lineup. So we'll identify that matchup or, the defense that they're in, and like we would on a normal basis, we'll find and exploit, a matchup that we think that benefits us. And our players have just been so gracious with one another. They've just shared the ball, and whether it's Lex one night and Amber another, or Chelsea gets, 18 shots one game and 8 the next. They've just really shared the ball, and I think they're really comfortable with whatever happens out there. They know that, we've got the ammunition on a given night to take advantage of certain matchups.
Can you talk a little bit about IT? I mean,
Yeah.
sounds like look at her numbers, the last 5-6 ball games, they've just continued to go up.
With IT, it's just strictly, honestly, been about being healthy. She was injured, obviously, much of last year, certainly in the conference season. She, right up until the end where she got back a little bit healthy, there at the SEC tournament and then the WNIT run. And then kind of had a setback, with her knee in the preseason, so she missed all of September, most of October. And you can see her playing shape, her feel, her speed, her explosiveness starting to come back, and she's just getting more comfortable. And the last probably, I don't know, would you say since the Bahamas for sure, she really has been the type of player that she was, before, she kind of dealt with the reoccurring, knee injury. But boy, and it just gives us such a punch, right now off the bench. And, Michaela's done a great job, in her absence, logging all the minutes. But, again, now that, we're able to split those minutes, it just gives us some real firepower and just keeping fresh bodies so that we keep the pace of the game. I mean, when IT comes in the game, I mean, the pace of the game just goes from, fast to whatever's faster than fast, because she just plays so hard, and she's just such an aggressive player, and she's such a great passer off the dribble. And what I mean by that is, she gets herself in what we think is trouble, and then all of a sudden, like, she's making some pass that even from the bench, you're going, where did that come from? And it just puts so much pressure on the defense to, A, stay in front of her, and then she's such a good passer once she beats her defender that and she's limited her turnovers. And I think a lot of that, we told her early on when her turnovers were a little bit high, it was just all about not being in playing shape. She just didn't have the feel, and she just wasn't in rhythm. And as she's gotten the playing time and she's gotten, more importantly, the practice time, her rhythm has come back. And because of that, you've seen her efficiency and her just ability to help our team, continue to improve.
Can you tell me where Jalen Mason is, and maybe even Macy Weaver? Is she anywhere close?
No, Macy's not close. Jalen, it's a continued process to get back to 100%. It's better than it was, but not ready to be in the game action, as of yet. So, just a continued process for her.
How's their focus been, coming back from Christmas and then obviously New Year's coming up, but also SEC play right around the corner?
We were concerned about that heading into the Little Rock game because we have not been good the game before Christmas our first 2 years. 2 years ago we go to Arizona State and get beat bad in a game we'd all like to forget. And then last year we survived over at Tulsa on a last-second game winner and then a late defensive stop. So we weren't really good with our focus, heading into Christmas, but obviously last week we were good coming out of finals heading into Christmas. The kids all got back early and on time. Last night, we had a really good workout last night. We got them up early, worked out this morning. We just got done. Terrific practice this morning in preparation for UT Martin. I think our team is excited. I think the UT Martin-Louisville game from December the 20th is really going to help us with our focus for Martin because we know how good a program Louisville is and what kind of team that they have. So for Martin to be able to take them to double overtime will get our players' attention. In fact, they were texting us during the game on Friday night in Little Rock, hey, Coach, you guys watching this? Because I think it was on, probably the Plus or something. So they were watching it in a hotel room. So our kids pay attention to that stuff. And although they're very eager to get into conference play to see, where we stack up and that I think they have appreciation for the type of team that Martin is coming in here on Sunday, and we'll kind of finish that, and then we'll turn our attentions to Texas A&M, on Tuesday. But I think our team is really looking forward to the rest of the season.
Any other questions for Coach Schaefer? Okay.
Thanks, guys.